morning, or good afternoon, 4th grade. Today we're going to have a really fun class period, again, talking about geography. But before we begin, I need to know how many of you know who Dr. Seuss is? Sean? Everybody knows who Dr. Seuss is? Good. Okay, who can tell me who he is?
He's an author.
He's a children's book author. Can anyone tell me what types of books he writes?
Fictional, rhyming books.
Rhyming, very good. So, how do you think we can use rhyming with geography?
Make a story.
Can make a story. Yeah, that's a good answer. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about maps, and today we're going to use a book and relate maps into a graphic organizer so you can have it for later. So today we're going to take the details from a book and put them on a graphic organizer, and you're going to work with a partner to comprehend the story. But before I begin, you and your partner, do you guys want to be partners? Sure. Okay, I need you to write down 5 words that you think might be in the book, but one of your words cannot be map. So write down 5 words that you think are going to be in the story, but one cannot be map. You guys work together, or Mike, you can work alone. I'll give you a little time to do that. Whatever you think might be in the book. What have we been talking about lately? It can't be map. Get your brains going a little bit before we read our story.
Directions.
And we're going to share these and see if our classmates think they might have the same ideas. Try to think of a word that's going to do with geography, not just a little word. You only have to think of 5. That's okay. And then go ahead and set your pencil down when you have 5 done. Good, so everybody has 5. Who would like to share first? Volunteer, volunteer. Mike.
Mountains.
Mountains. Does anyone else have mountains? Raise your hand if you have mountains. Good. Sean, do you want to tell us one?
North.
North. Does anybody else have north?
Direction.
Good. Do you want to share one?
Directions.
Directions. Does anyone else have directions?
We have all of them written down.
You have all the directions written down, so overall you have directions. You kind of made the easy way out and got 4 out of there. Mike, do you want to share another one? We'll go around one more time.
Oceans.
Oceans. Does anybody else have oceans? Good. Sean?
South.
South. Anybody else have south? No, because we all have directions. Bree?
Compass.
Compass. Does anybody else have compass? Good. Okay, so those are all some words that will most likely be in our story today. So you can leave your sticky notes there and then come on up to the front because I'm going to read you the story.
So we sit in here.
Yeah, you can go ahead and sit. I'll sit in this chair. And I'll read the story to you like story time. But before we read it, I said that we were going to be completing a graphic organizer later. Who can tell me why a graphic organizer might be important?
Helps us remember information.
Helps us remember information.
It's organized.
Keeps us organized. What can graphic organizers look like?
Anything.
They can look like anything.
Boxes.
Boxes. Might look like a spider web. So we're going to worry about that after our story, but I need you guys to really pay attention to the story, okay? Because I'm only going to read it once, and all of the answers to your graphic organizer are going to come from my reading, okay? So today, like I said, we're going to read the Dr. Seuss book. It's called There's a Map on My Lap. It's going to talk all about different types of geography. It's going to talk about different types of maps, who makes maps, directions, north, east, south, and west. So the author isn't actually Dr. Seuss, but the book is based off Dr. Seuss. The author is Tish Rabe, and it's illustrated by Aristides Roos. And here we go. I'm the Cat in the Hat, and I'm happy to say there's a map on my lap. Let's get on our way. We will travel the world, see the whole USA, and still be back home by the end of the day. Maps are drawings that help to find out where you are and get where you are going, no matter how far. When map makers make maps, they must first decide who will be using the map and what it needs to do. Cartographer. Cartographer is just a more formal name for a map maker, but both of their jobs are the same. So Mike, can you tell me who makes a map?
Cartographer.
Cartographer. We need to make sure we're paying attention to the story. The map of the Earth that we use most of all is a globe. Like the Earth, it is round as a ball. Peel the skin off an orange and lay it out flat. A flat map of Earth would look something like that. Longitude. These are longitude lines which run up and down. Latitude. Latitude lines go around and around. Maddie, can you tell me which one goes around and around?
Latitude.
Latitude. Very good. Now, if maps were the size of the places they show, map makers would run out of paper, and so a chart called a scale makes maps easy to use, shrinking miles into inches on each map that you choose. Scale makes everything smaller and helps you and me carry the world around easily. You can make a map of far places you roam, or a map called a plan of your very own home. Who can tell me what a map of your own home might be called?
Blueprints.
Blueprints, or what's the word we just read? Plan. So plan is a type of map. We use this scale, 1 inch equals 3 feet. It helped us do something we both think is neat. We drew our whole room so it fits on one sheet. So later on when we make our maps, this is what our maps will look like of our own room. There are 4 main directions. All maps have got them. North is top, south down at the bottom. If you look to the right, that is where east will be. Look to the left and west, and it's west that you will see. To remember all 4 ways, here's one easy way. Never eat soggy wheat is what I always say. I have here an atlas. Come on, take a look. You will find lots of maps. They're all in this book. So we've talked about atlas and directions, so that page should have been reviewed. Sometimes maps use pictures to show where things are. A capital city is marked with a star. A tent shows a campsite. Tracks show where a train is. To get to the airport, just find where the plane is. A chart called a legend, if you look carefully, will list and explain each picture you see. So we've kind of already talked about legend too. Here's some new information, so make sure you're paying close attention. Some maps use colors to tell you a lot. I use blue where it's cold and red where it's hot. We'll call that a temperature map. I made deserts light brown and jungles bright green. The legend will show you what these colors mean. Marine charts help boaters. These maps let them know if a rock reef or sandbar is hiding below. When you visit a city where you've never been, a city map helps you know where to begin. Here's a map we both carry around. It shows where the subway runs under the ground. Topographical maps are the kind hikers like. They use them to choose which direction to hike. They show where the land rises hilly and steep or goes down into valleys all rocky and deep. It's a big world we live in. Here's one way to hold it. Pick up a map, then simply unfold it. Here's something new. Dot maps like this one are covered with dots. Some have few dots, but others have lots. Each dot stands for something. On this map you see, each dot stands for one frizzle frazzled frizzy. Most frizzies live up north where haircuts are free. When you look at a map, it's important to see there's more than one way from point A to point B. Firefighters use maps when they go to fight a fire. The short way would take them from Vogel to Beyer. But traffic on Beyer can be a disaster, so they choose a long way that's also much faster. So that'd be like a road map like we talked about in our first lesson. When you want to go from Fazot to Fazend, you can measure the miles for the road does not bend. But in order to go from Fazot to Fazing on the 15th of May for the big Fazing Sing, the road twists and turns, so first cut off some string, put it down on the road all the way to Fazing. Then take out your ruler and measure the string. The scale on this map helps you see that it's far. 1 inch equals 10 miles, so you should take the car. We'll be doing an activity like that later on in our unit when we have to measure with the scale. Use this trick to read maps. You'll be glad that you did. Some are covered with lines. This is known as a grid. There are letters on top, numbers run down the side. Want to find where you are, let the grid be your guide. Trace a line down from A, look across at line 4. The lines cross at A4 at your very own door. We're having a party, we're waiting for you. Take a look at the grid, there's our house at E2. Here's a map I just got today, it's a puzzle map showing the whole USA. Puzzle maps come in pieces, and here's the best part. You can put them together, then take them apart. Here's a question we can't wait to ask you. What state is the largest? It's this one, Alaska. Now, which of these states do you think is the smallest? You're right, it's Rhode Island, the smallest of allest. Here's the game that we play, so feel free to play too. What does each of the 50 states look like to you? Michigan looks like a scarf and a mitten. Louisiana looks like a chair you could sit in. You'll have great adventures your whole life, and so I give you these maps, oh, the places you'll go. You may travel the world, but no matter how far, with a map on your lap, you will know where you are. You can always use maps. They will help you in knowing where you have been and just where you are going. So what does this book talk about? Some things that we already learned and some new things. What are some things we already know that this book has talked about? Scale. We've talked about that. Atlas. Legend. Good. Mike, anything else? Directions. Bree? Maps. But were there some new things and new words that we haven't talked about yet? Yeah? What were those? Were there any words that were kind of confusing that we might need to? Cartographer.
What's a dot map?
A dot map shows population. It can show a lot of different things. It just depends on what your legend says. Any other things that we haven't talked about a lot? The string. So the string you can use to help measure like how far it is from one place to another, and then you place it on a ruler to make it straight, because you can't use a ruler to measure if it's all crooked. So we'll be doing an activity like that later on.
Longitude and latitude.
Very good. Longitude and latitude. We haven't talked about that a lot, so we're going to be getting into that too. Does anyone remember the difference between the two?
Latitude lays.
Latitude goes around. Longitude goes up. Very good. So you guys can head back to your seat and make sure you sit with your partners. The group of 3 in the back, you guys can work together. You're going to need a pencil. So we're going to be filling out this graphic organizer. Like we said, it's just about the story. Everything that was in the story is going to be on here. I'm going to give you each a sheet, and I want you both or all 3 of you to fill it out, but you can work together. So make sure that you're all contributing to your group work, okay? And I will be walking around. Now, the types of maps, I found 7 different types of maps in there. Just write down as many maps as you can remember. We will just talk about them after. You might have caught some of the main ones, but some of the other ones you have to really be listening for. So go ahead and work on that for a little bit. And make sure you guys are both agreeing before you write the answers down, okay?
What was the title? I got a map on my lap.
If you guys get done, you can come turn those in and you can grab a crossword to work on while everyone else is finishing. Make sure you're working together. And compare your answers so we're on the right page. If there's a dilemma, we can talk about them. There's a map on
Distance.
Connor, you done? You can work on this while you.
Oh,
And work on this one independently, okay? Boys don't have a lot of trouble doing that. There's that, you can work on that. Your graphic organizer is really gonna help you on the crossword if you have questions.
It's really the bottom if I don't get one more.
Work on that crossword for about 2 more minutes while I try to get my computer pulled up here. And then we're gonna go over the graphic organizer to make sure everybody's on the same page. Alright, well I can't get my computer to work, but that's okay. We can just go face off what we have. Alrighty, so everybody get your graphic organizer back out. Go ahead and put that crossword over, we can finish it later in our free time. I need everybody to label their paper north, east, south, and west, because when we talk about our graphic organizer, we're gonna do north at the top, north, east, south at the bottom, west at my right hand, your left. So when we answer the questions, we are going to be using our directions in order to figure out what question we're at. Alright, so we're gonna start right in the center. I'm gonna use sticks, and we're going to start with Cam. Can you tell us the title of the book?
Map on my lap.
Very, very close.
There's a map. on my lap.
There's a map on my lap. So make sure you have there's a map on my lap. Alright, next we're gonna go straight east to the little box. Who's gonna go? Sean?
which little box?
Straight east of the title box.
Main character
Yep.
is Cat in the Hat.
Does everyone agree? Very good. So they're on the very first page of our story. Next, we're going to go straight south. And Bree, can you read the box and tell us the first purpose?
What is the purpose of a map? It's to show directions and land and.
Does everyone agree?
stuff.
Does anyone have anything different?
Is it info or data?
Shows where
Shows us
things are
information.
located.
Shows information where we're located and directions. Very good. And scale is the next one. Maddie?
Distance compared to real life.
Distance compared to real life. Does anyone have anything different? That's a good answer.
I did it from like make something big, like the Earth into something smaller, so
if we look up here on the board, I kind of put these ones up here because they're longer. So pretty much combining both of these together, it says changes miles into inches to help us see the whole world on a little map, because there's no way the whole entire world you'd be able to see it if it wasn't scaled down to a size that we could see. All right, let's go to the northwest. Oh, just a second, we have one more left. I didn't see that one. Mike.
Explains things on the map.
Does everyone else have that? Does anyone else have anything different? Nope. Also known as the key. Very good. All right, now we're going to go to the northwest corner. And we'll just kind of rattle some off here and see if we can come up with 7 maps.
Temperature.
Temperature map.
Globe.
Ooh, globe. I did not have that one as one of mine, but we'll count it as an extra.
Topographical.
Topographical. Where'd you find that one, Mike?
At the bottom.
At the bottom. We used our
Southwest corner.
southwest corner. We use our resources. That's 2.
Dot.
Dot.
Bedroom.
Bedroom, or what did we call that one?
Plan.
Plan. Very good. That's 4.
Subway.
Subway map. I didn't have that one. Good.
Traffic map.
Traffic. I didn't have that one. There's a lot of different types of maps in there. Anybody else have anything different?
Region.
Region map. All right, I'm going to pull up the 7 that I had on there. But your guys' were also very good answers. So there was a... All right. So I had plan, temperature. I had a marine chart. That's the one where they talk about the boats, make sure there wasn't any rocks. Underwater. Topographical, dot, the grid. That's when they talked about A4 and E2. And then the puzzle one was at the very end where they can take it apart and put it back together. But all of the other ones, the subway map, and the other ones that you guys said would also work there too. Those are just the ones that you remembered from the story. So try to, or make sure you have 7 written down in your box. If you don't, go ahead and put some that you don't have. And then last, straight down. Bree, can you tell me which way longitude is going to go?
All the way to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom. Does everyone agree that longitude are lines that run up and down? Good. Cartographer, Mike?
All the way at the top.
All the way at the top, which is?
Person who makes maps.
Good. Does everyone agree? Latitude? Maddie?
The second one.
Second one, which is?
Lines that go around on a map.
Good. And the last one, topographical map. It shows the shape and elevation of different types of maps in the United States. Okay, so we all have the graphic organizer filled out and we're good? All right, we're going to tuck that away for later, and you could get a piece of scratch paper. I guess you could just use that as your scratch paper if you want. Now I know it's spring, summer now, but today we're going to have a little snowfall. So on your piece of paper, I need you to write down one new thing that we learned today, and there's a map on my lap. When you get it done, I need you to crumple it all up. One new thing that we learned today in the book that we haven't discussed and that you want to learn more about. And you crumple it all up. All right, and when I say snow, we're going to throw them up in the air, and you have to pick up a different one than that, what you threw, okay? Is everybody crumpled? Show me if you're crumpled. Ready, set, snow. All right, now everybody has to go pick up a new one, and we can just finish our closing right up here. So everybody can go pick up a new snowball. You guys can come on up, we'll stand up for the closing. So we're going to see what ourselves and our classmates want to learn more about so we can discuss them in future lessons. So pick up a snowball. Show me your snowball when you got it. You can uncrumple it. Make sure you don't have your own. If you do, trade with somebody else. All right. Does everybody have one that's not their own snowball? Good. Who would like to start for us?
Oh. This one says Michigan looks like a scarf and mitten.
That is something new we learned. So we can relate that. How can we relate that to something that we can learn more about?
It's a way to memorize something.
Way to memorize something? Maybe
Why it's shaped that way because of the lakes.
because of the lakes. We can learn about the lakes. Maybe we can learn about all the 50 states. Good. Mike, you want to go next?
Sure. Marine maps.
And what did we know know already about marine maps from today's story?
Shows boat traffic.
There's boats and
Rocks.
rocks underneath the water. Very good. So that's a new type of map that we learned today.
Cartographer. The person who makes the maps, boy.
That is a person who makes the maps. And you guys are all going to become cartographers because at the end of this, we're going to be making our own map. And we're going to be using scale and legend and all the things that we already know. Maddie,
Dot maps.
dot maps. What can you tell us about a dot map? Do you remember?
It shows population.
Shows population or anything. Just depends on the legend.
Cartographer.
Photographer, very good. Which we already talked about, so that is going to be something that we really discuss later on. Like I said, you're all going to become map makers, so that will be very fun. Why do you think it's important that we wrote all this information down on a graphic organizer? We kind of already talked about it, but why is it really, really important?
The more you write it, the more you remember it.
The more you write it, the more you remember it. Very good. Kind of makes you have a mental picture in your head. You can kind of go from north to east on your graphic organizer to see where the information was. Why do you think Dr. Seuss uses rhyming in all of his books?
Catchy.
'Cause
Catchy.
It's fun.
Catchy and fun. Do you think it helps you remember things better? It does. So tomorrow, we're going to be writing stories, and we're going to be using rhyming while talking about our own maps. So very good. Good job. You can throw away your stuff.